Okay. Okay, I think we are getting this rolling. I better turn this off so I don't get copyrighted on this. Oh, I love that new Drake. That new Drake is just so freaking good. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Young Money Investments. My name is Cameron Bennion, and today is Sunday. So, as you know, it is Stock Pick Sunday. We are going to roll into this a little, not super quick, but before I wanted to start today, I wanted to kind of go over something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about making a new little YouTube series or kind of a series of videos that aren't just necessarily stock related, that are maybe lessons that I've learned in life or things that I think are pertinent or important for investors. And so one of the things I'd kind of thought about today was, why a lot of people look at money the wrong way. So kind of a little background story on this. I had a friend that that commented on a post of mine. It was on my Facebook page, and it was like a DJI video that I had filmed, and just how grateful I am for the things that I have, for the lifestyle that I live out here. Things are good. Like, I really am grateful and appreciative for my life, and he had said something on there about, and it wasn't a mean comment, but it was like a really long, basically like self-reflection on, like, he doesn't like himself, but he doesn't like that I post things about my life and about always like the good things, the grandeur part. And, it kind of got me thinking though. And when I wrote down my comment, I think what really hit me the most was that a lot of people look at money the wrong way. And that is something that I think, whether you have it or you don't have it, you're probably watching this channel, watching these videos because you're interested in learning more about how to make money, right? That's considered kind of the holy grail of success. The pinnacle of success is having a lot of wealth and being able to provide for yourself. My biggest thing though is the ones that complain, the people that complain about not having money. You don't have to have money in order to be happy. I think that is something this job has also taught me, because I wasn't broke, but I wasn't rich, 4 years ago. But at the same time, I've realized that money isn't everything. Money, it isn't everything. If you're happy, if you like playing video games for 12 hours a day, but you don't sit there and complain about not having enough time, enough financial freedom, enough time with your kids, enough time with your spouse, enough time to do other things. If you're not complaining about it and you're happy, like, that is honestly and truly what's important. So it's those ones that complain, right, about not having enough money or not having enough financial freedom, that are doing these things that are kind of self-destructing. You're never going to be able to achieve your full potential, or you're going to complain about things. And so that's just kind of my thought, honestly and truly. I wanted to leave that with you kind of when we started, or kind of started off in that idea, before we get into the money, before we get into to everything up here. So that is my thought. Money is not everything, and I think a lot of people look at money the wrong way. Money is nothing more than a tool. Money is nothing more, or winning at the stock market to me is nothing more than a game. It is obviously an important factor. Money is an important thing in life in order to have that financial freedom, that freedom to do what you want, that freedom to go where you want and do the things that you want to do. Yes, I need that, and that's why I enjoy being good at this game. But at the same time, I just like success. I'm addicted to success. I love winning. I love pushing myself to be better than I ever thought possible. And so I will continue to strive to be that no matter what. And I think if you're interested in that kind of thing as well for your lives, like, this is the channel for you. Like, this is the place to be. So we're going to roll into some stuff here this week. In full disclosure, I think I'm pretty darn honest and very open with a lot of you, my subscribers, my followers. I am going to be giving a friend a kind of larger loan. And so I'm going to be liquidating some of my assets, some of my account here, in order to help them out. I'm probably going to liquidate about 50,000 of it, and kind of lower some of my positions. I'm kind of bummed about doing that because I'm at right about break even on a lot of these positions. Apple's one of the ones that I'm going to be selling out of. I don't see a whole lot more profit margin in the near future. This is going to be a short-term loan, so I do need to get rid of that. There's a couple other positions I'm also going to be liquidating, and so, or at least cutting down. I don't want to say liquidating, but I'm going to be selling off some shares of Amazon. I see some more upside potential, but I'm going to sell off a little bit of my Amazon position, probably about 30% of my Amazon position. I'm going to sell off a pretty large size of my Libre Mercado position. I'm going to sell off about 60 shares of Libre Mercado. I'm going to sell off about 285 shares of Cirrus Logic. Again, I see long-term value in Cirrus Logic, but I do see it coming up on resistance as well. I see Alibaba. I am going to also be liquidating about 23 shares of them. And then, like I said, my 45 shares of Apple. There are some swing trades that I'm going to be staying in, and that's what I wanted to get into for this week and kind of show you the positions that I've recently gotten into and where I plan to capitalize. So what we're going to do here is we are going to miniaturize me, right? Take me down to Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. And we're gonna take a look here at one of my first positions that I recently got into for a short-term swing trade. And this is going to be Win. So you're kind of getting into this or looking at this at kind of a good point. If you didn't get in at the time I got in, right around this little section, I probably got into Win right around 152. Well, why don't I be 100% full disclosure? I got in at 153. Let's zoom in here. I got in at 153, so down here, 153.50. So I got in right about here. I got in basically at the bottom. I really got in at the bottom of this this massive dip that Wynn Resorts had. So if you notice, Wynn right here has this massive sell-off. This right here, and I didn't focus on this last Thursday when I went over Wynn. This sell-off was due to the fact that Steve Wynn had some sexual harassment allegations brought against him. So the reason for this massive sell-off was partly, part market related, part just news related, because Steve Wynn, the CEO and founder of Wynn Resorts, had that allegation and was obviously going to be stepping down as the CEO or COO, whatever he is, of Wynn Resorts. Now, granted, it has made quite some runs up here, as you can see, and it has had some runs right back up to where it was at previously. We have seen that start to taper off, though, and continue back and forth. Now, this has had quite a big sell-off. A lot of the stuff going on with China and the trade wars. Wynn Resorts obviously has some international properties as well. That's part of the reason that it's had this sell-off, as has the market. If you notice this EMA line here, you'll notice that it has acted as resistance quite a bit in terms of not being able to break above the EMA as it has had that massive sell-off. Now, again, it really had a massive sell-off here this past week. And noticing and kind of looking at the support and resistance, noticing how it had trended through here quite a bit. I think it was right in here. I just kind of noticed some chart patterns. If you look right here, notice how there was a lot of touching, I guess you could say. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but if you notice, there was a lot of touching. It came up, touched this support, came back up, came back down, touched support, came back up, came down, touched support, came back up, came back up, touched support, came back up. And then if you also notice here, came up, touched resistance, dropped back down, and then was able to break it. I do see this line right here, this price point of roughly about 155.80, 155.80 or so, acting as a little bit of a resistance. You're also going to run into some resistance right here on the EMA line. Now, if it is able to crack this is where I do see a potential buying opportunity. So as you notice up here, you can also see where it had came down and touched kind of in this same area over here. If you can see it break above this EMA right here and start to trend up, probably at about the 157, let's say 157.32 price point, 157.50 would be even a little bit more safer bet. So right in here at about 157, let's call it 157.50, right? If you're able to ride that up right into this support right in here, you're looking at about a 6.4% potential for profit, and I'm gaining an additional 3.5% on there. So I'm looking at about a 9% potential for profit on a trade that I'm in with 30 shares, I believe, right now. If it breaks EMA, I'm going to look to buy in and obviously capitalize a little bit more on that position. Like I said, I'm not in it deep. I am in it a decent amount, but I do see, I mean, $4,700 really isn't actually a decent amount. I'm in it a very small amount, actually. Um, but the thing is with this is I do see more potential for upside. I do like Wynn Resorts as a whole. I think they have a lot of good things going for them long term. If we do hit a recession though, if we do hit a big market pullback, I don't see Wynn as a good one because they are going to get pounded. It's a luxury resort. So I don't see long-term potential in them, but I do like the company as a whole. I think they are a good company. Next one I'm going to look at right here, and this is one that I've been wanting to sell out of for a while because I'm just not loving what has happened since I've gotten into this, and that is going to be Lockheed Martin. If you look at the 180-day trend line, I probably got into Lockheed Martin. I don't even know. Not even at a good position. I'm probably down about 6-7% on good old Lockheed here. I think I got in at about 3. No, I'm actually down about 11% on Lockheed Martin. I think I got in at roughly 336, 335, 336. Gosh, I would have gotten in up here if that's actually right. So I would have put me in up here. Yeah, it's actually probably about right. Somewhere roughly in that range. Lockheed Martin is not doing well. Neither is any of the military stocks really currently right now. But with that being said, I do see it kind of starting to level out. I do see it starting this reversal here. And if you do look out further on beyond the 180-day EMA, let's say you look at the 1 year, 1 day chart, I saw a lot of consolidation back here. So if you look at this, you see some consolidation through here. Sorry, text message. You can see kind of the resistance and support where it touched here. It's been touching over here. And then we had this long stretch of period for a couple months where it was not really trending above at this price point. So what I'm looking for in Lockheed Martin, I do see it potentially being a good buy right now. In terms of being able to pop up above this. If you're looking at RSI indicator, we definitely are on the oversold side. I mean, we are sitting at about a 35 right now, but I see this being able to run up quite a bit. Profit margin wise on LMT, and I do see it, I guess I should say, as a long-term hold potentially. I don't see a lot of risk in holding this long term. But in terms of where you'd be able to write it up to, I mean, if you wrote it up from where you're buying until now, I'd say you're looking at a solid 5%, 5.8% on Lockheed Martin. So again, I like the RSI where it's sitting at. It could be a little bit lower if it did have a little bit of a sell-off. The RSI dropped a little bit more. Potentially a good little buy opportunity for Lockheed Martin. If we want to go over, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I want to cover that would be another good buy. So those two are good swings. MU as well. So MU has been in the news quite a bit, and that is going to be Micron. Wow, I can't type today. Is MU, because of the Chinese, you should just look up the market news on there. I'm going to kind of try and go through this fast. But MU, I'm looking at kind of a nice little consolidation pattern here. If it does drop below this, I'm going to probably sell out around the 51 point in terms of cutting my losses. But I do see this consolidating through the EMA, and seeing it be able to push up above this would be a nice, would be a nice little run that I see it having the ability to do. So basically that's going to be my my call out with MU. Wow, I do not know why this does not want to. Wow, if you can't tell, I'm getting frustrated. Okay, here we go. MU is another one that I do see a good potential value in. Obviously, RSI is not at the most ideal point right now. If we zoom in on this little section right here, where it is trading at, if you wanted to do a quick swing trade or day trade, you're still looking at a nice little potential of about 3% on here. I would not buy right in here if you're looking for a day trade slash very short-term swing trade. What I would honestly potentially do is I would wait for a sell-off somewhere into this price point of about 51.36. If you can buy in here and be able to ride it up in this range, that is a good spot. I like MU as a nice little long-term swing, but then again, I don't. I'm going to hold it a little bit longer. So MU is not one that I'm in for a huge position either. I'm trying to make my swing trades a little bit smaller. FedEx, like I've said before, I'm in that for a long-term hold. Callaway Golf, I recently bought a decent amount of additional shares. I think, in all honesty, I spent another couple thousand, I think. No, I didn't spend another couple thousand. I only spent about, another couple thousand. Eli, Callaway Golf. Now, this is one that I've been in for a long-term hold, and I see long-term value in Callaway. Currently, I'm sitting up about 29%, even after this massive sell-off. This is why I see a good potential dip buy right now for a lot of you traders. If you can dip buy this right where we currently are sitting and get back up to where we were at, you're looking at a nice little sale of about 6% off on Eli. I like Eli. I really do like Callaway Golf quite a bit for the simple fact that it has a lot of things going for them. They have this nice little stake in this little company called wow, that's really embarrassing. Now I forgot the name. This little company called something Golf. What is the name of the company now? It's like the driving range place. I can't even think of it right now. That's really embarrassing. So someone's going to comment in the comment section. Yeah, Cameron, it's golf, whatever it's called. That driving range that I've never been to that I really want to go to. They have a large stake in that. They are growing rapidly and they are growing tremendously. There's a lot of popularity behind these little, I guess, entertainment places. I do see this as a long-term buy. I like the fact that on this dip you could buy a nice little position in it. If you would have bought back here, you would have bought it at a well oversold price. Even if you would have bought down in here. So RSI indicator, I mean, obviously is a little bit higher, but honestly and truly, I think you would be very well pressed to find a better position in terms of a nice long-term position or even a swing trade if you're not wanting to be in this very long and taking that pretty certain 6% return on Callaway Golf, especially those of you that don't have a whole lot of money. At $20 or $19 a share, you cannot really get a much more solid company, in my opinion, for that price. And so for that reason, I really do like Callaway Golf. Cirrus Logic, I always go over them quite a bit. The reason why I'm taking a little bit of a sell-off, again, I see long-term potential in this company, but I do see where it is starting to come up on resistance. So as it reaches resistance here, I am going to sell out of part of my position. I expect it to take a little bit of a dip. That's just my personal opinion on Cirrus Logic, and that's why, because of the massive size that I am currently in Cirrus of about 30,000, I don't want to be that heavily invested in it. Tesla, I got effed over. I bought way too high, and just to, like I said, full disclosure, this is one company that I'm not doing very good in. I'm down probably about 7% right now. I think I bought in probably somewhere in here. Yeah, about 7% or so. Down about 7% in Tesla right now. Trying to dip by this right here, and it broke support and just continued to trend down. Now, what I might do is I might end up adding a little bit to my position down here in the $300 price range. If I can buy in right here and ride that up, I can make up for some of my losses in Tesla. Do I see long-term potential? Yes. I see Tesla being at least a swing all the way through September. In September, I do see Tesla being profitable. And when Tesla becomes profitable, the sky's the limit on Tesla. So that is my opinion on Tesla really quick. And then Caterpillar, my largest position that I currently have right now. Cat is still basically consolidating. You can get Caterpillar right now still at a very good deal. Looking at the chart pattern here, you can see where it has consolidated quite consistently through here. You can even see in years past right over in this area where it consolidates and then where we are currently at. Taking a look at that current chart, I see a great little buying opportunity. You can even swing trade this. If your little heart desires, up into this range for a nice little 3% return. If you wanted to hold a little bit longer, there's obviously that potential for another 6.48%. I do see this as a nice little long-term hold. Do I have a little larger position than I probably should? Yes. Am I leveraged in a little bit on that position? Yes. Do I recommend leverage? No, I do not recommend leverage to anybody out there that is trying to get into investing or just starting in investing. That's something that more experienced traders need to do, or where you could have the capital to put that in if you needed to. Let's say you need that capital. You can't have that capital in your investment account right now. But if needs be, if you really did get into a tight financial situation, yuck, mosquitoes, the South, ugh. If you did get into a financial situation where you needed that money, you would be able to pull it out. That's the only reason I leverage. I don't try to leverage a whole bunch, although I am right now, and I was dip buying this last little sell-off that we had. But I do see good, like I said, a good potential to buy into Caterpillar right now, still where it is sitting at. RSI is sitting about a 45. I don't love that kind of an RSI. I would have loved to actually get an RSI down here. But if you notice, the price point is not any different based on the RSI from here to where you would potentially buy in. So I honestly wouldn't go so much off of the RSI as opposed to where it is on the chart patterns. And that's why I teach a lot of times, guys, that you need to be able to use the chart patterns as well as using the RSI indicator. One simple indicator is not going to give you the information that you necessarily need. So that is pretty much it, honestly and truly. I didn't want to make this video super long, but unfortunately I did. It's still a 21-minute video. So happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please leave them down in that comment section. Like I said, I'm trying to get these videos a little bit better. It is hard. It's not easy to film these. It's not easy to figure everything out. It's not easy to upload, but I have to go get some food. It is definitely dinner time. So it's like dinner time. It's like 3:51. So hey, everybody, have a great Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in to Young Money Investments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Oh, and one more thing, I got this nice little mat here, this little like mouse mat thing. So just remember, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. So on that little note, 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whatever you do it in the glory of, whatever you do it all in the glory of God. Love y'all. Hopefully everything's going good. Take care. Bye.